This is 72.
Yeah.
This is your 72nd?
Yeah.
That's tight.
All right, welcome back to episode number 72 of Stream of Thought, and today we are joined by a very special and mysterious
elusive figure.
Elusive figure. I like the way that you put that. The most elusive, might we say. A man with an unpronounceable name.
Do you want to introduce yourself? Neil Mbateng! Confetti.
All over the place.
No, just in my mind, but that's not happening in reality. But that was a pretty cool introduction. Thank you guys for having me.
Welcome. So what are a few things we talk about on this 72nd episode?
Well, Neil goes all the way back with us to the start of what was VNR Media, long before Stream of Thought, long before any of this sort of emerged.
We need to have another episode where we talk about that like in detail.
It really deserves
with
an
Neil
episode
here
to itself, absolutely. But anyway, he's one of our oldest friends. He goes all the way back into high school, and we get a chance to cover the gamut. I mean, we talk about everything.
Traveling the world, social movements, high school, politics, back to traveling the world.
And a little bit of race.
A little bit of race, yeah.
And we talk and women.
And women. Exactly.
There's always women.
Yeah.
So with that being said, episode number 72 featuring Neil Mbateng.
Thank you all for having me.
We hope you enjoy.
The flow.
I'll be honest, I drank 2 beers the other night, and I woke up feeling slightly dehydrated in the middle of the night.
Really?
Yeah.
Because you were drinking it
Well,
through.
maybe you should drink more water then.
I do drink more water. I do drink plenty of water. What I'm saying is because I don't drink very often, I can't drink a lot, otherwise I'll feel sick. You know what I'm saying?
Where do America's happiest people work? Is this yours, Rix?
Look at number 5.
My mom printed that off.
His mom printed that for me because we've been doing some self-tapes in here for me to send in.
Self-tapes, like for you to like
for auditions.
Gotcha.
Yeah, they give me a copy, which is like what they want you to read. And I have the video camera, and Rick tapes me, and then I send it in. I mean, we've only done that a couple times.
Yeah, but let me tell you.
What? Oh, he was here for a real good one.
Priceless.
Yeah. Here, I
He-
don't know if I have the script still.
He
for
did,
the sides for that.
I'm so glad that he did just one take because it was for Domino's, right?
It was, the funny thing is, okay, the funny thing is that when I submitted for the commercial, or this national commercial, it says national pizza chain because they never tell you what the company is, and then you open up the PDF and it says Domino's on there.
So
but
it's Domino's. Even
yeah,
though
it's for
like,
Domino's.
Supposed to be anonymous.
Correct.
Some
Correct.
random chain.
But anyway, it was pretty funny because for the very last portion, I said the same thing for the most part.
Yeah.
But the very last portion, like they want you to be totally wacky, like those dumbasses on TV, on like just super stupid wacky, like
Like
Looney
Jim
Tunes type
Carrey.
shit. Yeah, like Jim Carrey on like level 100.
Yes.
like
yes. And let me tell you, my
Super
face was
Jim
getting
Carrey.
red in embarrassment.
For real? Like,
Yeah.
this is whack.
It was something else.
This is cool.
It was still fun though.
Can I take a picture of this, Vic?
Yeah,
Just this list?
you can take a picture
I mean,
of that
I'm
for sure.
My mom could print you off a copy if you wanted.
But what's new with you? Featuring
Yeah,
Neil
wait,
Mbateng.
Who is this stranger in our midst right now? This is
The N in the former VNR
VN,
media.
Yeah.
Are we
Now we're
recording right now?
Yeah, we've been recording.
Okay.
Okay,
man.
cool. Okay, so that's smooth.
Yeah.
I'm doing well.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, you know, life's been pretty good. You know, just
Globetrotting.
globetrotting, trying to get my my life in order, trying to get my finances straight.
So where?
Aspiring to
It's so
become.
funny. We start recording and you turn into a robot.
Yes, yeah,
It's like,
ex-
you
yeah,
totally
yeah,
just
yeah.
I know,
changed into,
I know.
I'm good.
What,
I'm like,
well,
dozens and hundreds and maybe thousands, maybe millions of people will hear this. So.
What have you been doing
Eric.
since Tel Aviv? Because that was the last trip I know. I know you did Israel and you did Singapore and you did. Did you do Germany? Where'd you go? I've lost track of everywhere
so
you've
since
gone.
Tel Aviv, I went to Indonesia. I went to Bali. I went to Singapore. I was in Hong Kong, and I went to Jamaica. I went to those places.
And you went to
Which-
Ireland
which
recently.
place-
And I went to Ireland.
All places that you visited, did you feel the most at home at? And which one did you feel the most a stranger in?
I felt the most at home in Ireland. It was Ireland because it's a lot like here, Rick's. Like, dude, it's pretty much here. Like, I thought I was with a bunch of people from Glenbard West with Irish accents, like, well, just like, doing our thing and having fun.
Was everyone dressed kind of like we would be dressed?
Absolutely.
So it was a very suburban.
Absolutely. Yeah, super suburban, super. I mean, super waspy. You know, like straight up. I know you guys will get with them. You know what I'm saying? Exactly. And just like, you know, Western countries tend to resemble ours in that sense. Yeah. So it was super like, you know, like I was like, okay, like I could have. I felt at home. They have a bunch of American restaurants, you know.
Which were you the most alienated in?
What country did I feel the most alienated? Bali, Indonesia, for sure. You don't see no black folk. You don't see no black folk. Did I tell you guys I ended up in the newspaper in Bali?
No.
I was in the newspaper.
What?
I was on the front page of an Indonesian newspaper.
How did this happen?
Yeah.
How did this happen?
So, hold on while I pull it up.
Don't think, just talk.
So, I mean, I'm trying to think of the story, but what happened was, sorry, it's been a while since I've done this. I'm rusty. So I was walking down the street. I was getting a tour with me and the young lady I went to Bali to, whose name shall not be mentioned because she's crazy as hell.
Right.
And we were just walking down the street and. I don't know. We were on a tour, and when I come back, I get a WhatsApp message from the tour guide, and he's like, "Hey, Neil, check out this picture. Do you recognize the guys in the photo?" And I'm like, "Holy shit, that's me!"
This is the same day.
No, this is after I returned, so I didn't know about the picture. He didn't know about it either.
But of course, you get the tour guide's phone number.
Yeah,
texting back and forth.
Exactly. I mean, he hits me up all the time. Good guy. I mean, he hits me up.
You make the most interesting friends.
He hits me up once a month. Neil, how are you? When are you coming back to Bali? We miss you. Balinese, Bali what? Whatever, you know.
Oh, that's so fun.
Yeah. So I ended up in the front page of the newspaper, and it's me and it's him, but you can't see the girl too, which was great. She's blocked off as well. So I was like, well, wow.
What was the headlines?
It was like, American tourists in Bali. American tourists in Bali. That's literally what it was. Like they saw me like you know, they're
a black dude.
Yeah, like a black dude who's over 6 foot. Like a lot of them are short. You know what I mean, Rick? So I'm like, okay, I'm 6 foot. You know, like I'm 200 pounds, and I've got dreads and shit. They're like, whoa, what the hell? The funniest part of Bali, because Bali has like they're black folk from Bali, but they come from a lot of the. They come from your Australias.
Yeah.
And, a lot of people who are living in Asia who would like to go on vacation because it's super cheap and it's not that far from Australia.
Right.
So, but no Americans were there. No American black folk, especially. Yeah. So I remember I'm going to the club. I'm going to this Brazilian club called La Favela in Bali, right? And I'm walking by, and there's this black dude walking, and he's walking by, and he's fucked up. I can see it in his eyes. So he's squinting at me. He's like, I don't think I see what I'm actually seeing right now. And he's an Australian guy, and he's like, oh my God, black people! and his friend just shoves him out the way, dog. Like, bro, you have no chill right now. Like, you need to relax. But yeah, there's not a lot of black people who go to Bali, but yeah, it's pretty tight. But Rix, man, what's up with you? And I kind of want to talk to you about the gubernatorial election, the upcoming one, the primary that's happening on March 20th. Make sure you guys vote. What's up, man?
Okay.
Yeah.
What do you want to talk about?
I mean, what candidate are you leaning toward?
Well, you brought it up. Tell me why you're interested in this. Tell me, enlighten me as to your area of fascination.
Well, when we were on the way over here, we saw all the signs in people's front yards, and I thought to myself, like, dude, I bet Rix knows exactly who he's voting for every single category. Like, this is his Christmas, you know.
He'll be.
And then we're driving by, and you know what we see? A Jay Kinsler sign.
I'm like that clown, man. That dude. God.
Yeah. No, it's interesting because we actually, I believe that's tonight. There is a forum hosted by the League of Women Voters for Democratic candidates for the House seat, I believe.
Okay.
Is what it is. And I'm a bad Illinoisan.
Illini.
No, I'm not an Indian.
whatever.
People from
I'm not an Indian.
Chicagoan. What are you talking about, Illinois? There's a state called Illinois?
Yeah.
What?
Anyway, so I don't really. I know who my congressman is. I know who our senators are. I know who the governor is. I know who the speaker of the Illinois House is. But I don't really know much beyond that. Especially
Got
when
it.
it comes to
Victor, did you know there's a lieutenant governor?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Until
It's
like a couple of weeks ago. I was like,
Second in
shit.
command.
Yeah.
The weird thing is, though, is it's just second place.
Yeah.
So you can have like a Republican governor and a
Democratic lieutenant governor.
lieutenant governor.
That's crazy.
But are you guys growing up? Did I have your families put signs in the front yard for who to vote? No. Yeah, I never did that shit.
Hell no.
There's a bunch of people that a lot of people in my neighborhood do that, but I'm just like, I'm not trying to. One, I'm not trying to go out of my way to buy a sign, and two, I'm not trying to go out of my way. Well, you buy them. I thought it was like donation, like $5 or something weird like that.
If you want to order them, but if you're at a rally or whatever,
they just give them out.
Sometimes they'll have campaigners going around.
So I don't want that shit in my front yard.
It'd be like, do you want a sign to put in front of your yard?
Yeah. Do you know what I'm gonna get at next?
No.
I
don't like the look on your face.
What was it? What was it that your mom had run for? Was it county board or
it was
like several years ago? Village trustee. So one time he asked me like, "Hey, would you mind putting a sign in your front yard for my mom for village trustee?" And I told him like, "Dude, I'd have no problem with that, except my next door neighbor is the person that she's running against." Yeah. And he's like, "Are you fucking kidding me right now?"
He was mad as hell. And I remember Victor's like, "What does he mean to you that my mother does?" Like Rick was mad.
Bro,
as
dude,
hell.
I would, but I can't.
Dude.
Oh, would have been a sign of
God.
I can't do. I
should have pressured you.
Rick's,
I
man.
don't think we were good enough friends back then.
That was a political move I could not make because everyone in my neighborhood he doesn't live there anymore. Next door to me.
Ricks, you are.
But,
he has higher
but
aspects
everyone in my neighborhood would have been like knocking on our door, like, "What do you guys think you're doing?" You know what I'm saying?
is
It'd
funny
be
as
weird.
hell.
It'd have
would
been
have
weird.
been what is it? Shunned from
The same
community.
thing would be the
no
same
more
thing.
Block party for you.
The same thing if
you know, he loves him some block party
yes.
now. Victor's neighborhood is pretty cool though. Like they all know each other. Like
How
I've
many
lived.
block parties a year would you say that you have?
Dude, we used to do a block party like every year, and then there were several years where we didn't have one at all. We had our first one in a long time in 2012, and then we had another one in 2014, another one in 2016. So we'll probably have one this summer.
Dude, it was a great like advertising piece when trying to hang out with a girl. Like I remember, like I'll never forget, like trying to hang out with this girl who wasn't feeling me in high school. I'm like, "Oh, let's hang out." She's like, "No, I'm busy. I'm sick." Of course not. Okay. It was somebody else whose name shall not be mentioned. But no, but I like. I'm
Neil,
like,
is that you?
Yeah.
Neil, is that you?
It wasn't her either. But I'm like, come on, let's go. She's like, "No, I'm fine." I'm like, "Come on, let's go hang out." Like, she's like, "No, I think I'm good." I'm like, "I'm gonna go to Victor's block party." Well, you know what? Actually, pick me up at 7. So I pick her up. We go to the block party. She says nothing to me the entire time. I try to kiss her at the end of the night. She completely curbs your boy. But we had a fun time at the block party, man. So, yeah, I hope the neighborhood keeps doing it.
I don't remember who this is. But yeah, the block parties are fun.
Yeah,
it was
they're dope.
It was cool having, because when we were growing up, I remember one year we had that giant bouncy house in my front lawn.
Mm-hmm.
I felt like such a badass because we were the house that had the bouncy lawn. And we used to race our bicycles down the hill as well. And it was just awesome doing all that. I remember growing up. And then we were all grown up.
Yeah.
Most of us. And then, like, the one in 2012, we got a keg, and, like, everyone got real drunk, and we're, like, smoking weed all over the place.
Yeah.
But after all the older kids.
Yeah.
I was like, damn, I haven't seen, because it was weird because it was myself and like one or two other people that were my age, and then the age range was from like when I was 12, the youngest person was like 2 or 3, and they have all these kids in between those ages. I did the math, it's 25 kids total, including myself and my 2 siblings, 25 kids between the ages of 2 and
Isn't that crazy
12.
how entire blocks of neighborhoods, especially in white suburban Chicago, tend to sort of move as a unit, like they all just.
Well,
all
now
have
the
kids
crazy
and
thing
they
is
come
too.
together.
It's so corny,
And then
man.
they all
It
graduate at the
is.
same
It is
time.
so
They live next down to their
and
best
dude,
friends.
and they will not let anyone to
No.
get
It is
into their circle
lifelong blood
socially.
bonds.
Like Rick's man. Like again, dude. Like when you wrote that draft for your book, Can we talk about that? I don't know if you.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, yeah. When you wrote that draft for your book and the way you described Glen Ellen, dude, I was like, wow. Like people would always ask me like what it was like to grow up there, and I just couldn't explain it. And you said you had it down to a T, like uniformly white, like just like everything you can imagine, like in the most pleasant ass
like
white
Pleasantville,
suburb
like that movie
of
Pleasantville.
Chicago, Illinois. You know what I mean? Like you guys see Wheaton's like one of the safest places to live in the United States.
Yeah.
He said, "Of course."
Dude, when I
that doesn't surprise me.
When I used to work,
Okay.
when I used to work at Reserve 22, I was used to it because I grew up here. But when I used to go to work at Reserve 22, there were so many people coming in that would just with this sense of entitlement. And our chef, you'd go in the back sometimes, and he'd be screaming or like slamming something on the ground, just scream at the top of his lungs, just like, "What the hell is wrong with these people? Why do they think this and that and that and this?" I was like, "Yeah, dude, welcome to DuPage County, bro. Like, this is how it is,
dude." It's just like, and it's nuts because like you come out the house like every so often for these events because you get invited to stuff all the time. You guys know, I mean, obviously. I mean, I was almost the prom king. I still think I should have won it.
You should have won it,
I honestly think I did win, but they did me like they did my man Burn. We won't get into it too often.
But I will say
much,
this:
but
one of the nominees, his girlfriend, who is now his wife, voted for you. Didn't even vote for her own man. Voted for Neil Mbateng.
Did I tell you that story?
Yeah.
Yeah. And she pulled me and said, she's like, "Neil, by the way, I voted for you." I'm like, "Why did you vote for your boy?" I mean, he's a good guy as well, but yeah, I just yeah, it's very clicky, man. It's like it's creepily clicky. It's creepily like you guys haven't made any other friends in the last 15 years.
Right.
Like you're all dating each other. You know, it's so weird to me, like watching it unfold and how things have become and people
But I'll say
settling
this:
with each
one,
other.
there's nothing wrong with that. Two, I think we have this skewed perspective of it because we're on the other side. We're like most of my like if most of my friends were in my high school clique or growing up, like this wouldn't even be on my radar. Maybe the perspective I would have was like, why are people like not being close with the people they grew up with? Instead, they're wanting to venture out and like leave town. So it's like there's nothing wrong with it. It's just it is something that
a particular way of life.
it is
That is unfathomable
very
to
obvious,
me.
I guess you could say.
You know what I mean?
A lot of ways of life are unfathomable.
Like the three of us are still tight.
I
Like
couldn't imagine living like Ray.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, like there are certain ways of life that we just couldn't put ourselves in those people's shoes.
like every time I see you, you're
And it's
with
easy to make fun of,
you're with like these same 5 people. Like from like
Dude, you got to write a bit.
every time I see
you got to write a bit about that.
I want to hear. Let's talk your comedy. Your venue.
Why was it that why did you give us a? Okay, yeah.
Going on?
Okay, so
You know what? I would have never even thought to do what Victor did. Like, God bless Victor.
yeah, because I would have not thought to do what Victor did as well.
So to explain it, Neil had sent us a text saying, "Hey, I'm performing.
Him for like 2 months.
I'm performing stand up at this location on this night at this time. Come check it out." I look it up, and I look at the Google Street View. I'm like, this doesn't look like a place, but okay. And then I see permanently closed.
Under the bar that he's supposed to be performing
Yes.
at 7 p.m. at.
I don't know how long,
What?
but my guess,
Yes, what is
my
our predictions?
my
as to what this will
prediction
affect?
was that either someone told you about that place and it's outdated, they had outdated information, or maybe you were looking up online where to do stand up and they showed this place and also had outdated information.
I lean towards the second.
You're both correct. It's definitely the second. There's a place you can Google open mic nights in the Chicagoland area, and there's a website with a bunch of bars, whatever. Their freaking Facebook account is still active. That's the thing, and people are still liking stuff. So that's why. So that's why. So I definitely looked up the place. Like I looked up on Facebook. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? So like, okay, like I had like 5 to 10 jokes written. Like I'm about to kill it. Ricks and Victor are gonna come. Like it's about to be off the chain. I'm about to be a star, right? And then Victor's like, "Neil, I don't think this place exists, bro."
Yeah, dude. I'm happy I did my research because that place was near Evanston.
I felt very dumb, and I could just only imagine what was going through this guy's head. Typical Neil. Typical Neil.
I found out this place, didn't I?
Oh my god! But yeah, bro.
I give so much credit to Victor. My heart is just fueled by Victor. Is just foresight.
Let's stop and
His
think about
foresight
this.
to the potential issues we could be having here.
Yeah.
One, the place is closed. I didn't even think we'd go that far. I was thinking more down the road that you wouldn't show up to your own thing.
Yeah.
Like that was. I was thinking more immediate.
No.
I don't think I would have thought so much about it if it was in the middle of downtown Chicago or in River North or somewhere.
Yeah,
but like
yeah,
it was
but
far
you're,
away.
like,
So
trying
like
to
if
figure
I'm
out-
driving, I'm going to do some research on
Because
this.
the address that you sent, there were like 3 of them in the Chicagoland area.
Okay.
And you had Googled it, but I just typed in the address on my Google Maps on my phone, and it's like there are 3 locations. Or
Permanently
something like that. I had
closed.
no idea.
Yeah.
And I just assumed it was one of them. So.
Yeah.
Wow. So what's next for your
Aspiring, whatever.
stand up? Circuit.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm gonna do it again. It's something I'm gonna continue to do. Like again, am I looking to become something crazy? No, it's fun.
Yeah.
It's fun, and I think I
You've done
can.
it once.
I had a blast doing it. Let me tell you, I was like, okay, so out of probably like 10 comics, I wasn't the least funniest. And again, like Rix and I kind of rehearsed. I said the joke to Rix, and I did exactly what I was supposed to do. People got it. I was told that my punchlines are very good, but you could hear the shakiness, the nervousness in my voice. I was like, dude, like, and
It's all right.
there were only like maybe like 24 people in there. It wasn't like crazy, but I was just like,
Dude, here's
Nobody
what-
is great right off the bat.
but just like being funny on cue, like okay, be funny. Like holy shit, like that's not easy
If
to
you're
do.
walking into a situation,
Yeah.
you can like do things as Victor has learned over his second city education to be in that be in the right mindset to be able to be a hot comedy. But what you should do in the future, if you do want to do stand up, go to the place first. Like see what the vibe is like. I mean, I'm not saying to see if it's open. Like,
I mean,
I
go
would
there
recommend
one
that you
time
go
and like
there.
do like go like on a scouting trip before I go
on
there.
a scouting trip.
Gotcha.
I always did that when I was checking out churches to go to.
Yeah.
I always tried to be an anonymous person in the congregation if I could, just to see what the vibe is like, because it's very different in the back of the room than it is up with the lights all on top of you.
Gotcha. Okay.
Do that.
That's a good point.
Do it soon. You have a lot of time. You're on vacation for a while, right?
Yeah, I'm chilling for the next couple
So
of weeks.
good. You have time. Go
yeah.
to a couple.
Yeah.
Make it a thing. Go to one a week. Set aside time.
Go hang out there at the comedy clubs. But the thing is, though, the whole like open mic scene is definitely like it's like okay, you can only perform once, and then like you have to like get like draw names from a hat or something. Like
It's
even
super competitive.
exactly because everyone thinks
Until people start knowing who you are, then they'll give you 5 minutes and then 10 minutes and then
yeah.
yeah.
But for sure. So Victor told you about fake friends showing fake love to me on social media.
Oh
from high
yeah,
school.
we talked about that. That was a few episodes ago when I mentioned that I saw someone blasting someone who we both knew.
Man, we are about to put him on
Remember
blast.
when we were talking about like people would not say the same shit if it was in person, the internet thing,
yeah,
and I read it
yeah,
when I read a little bit, and then I was like, I'm done with this.
Yes.
That was him.
Yeah.
'Cause
No, I was not the person showing fake love. Fake love
But
was being shown to me for whatever reason. So I'm about to put him on blast because he came at us. So
all right, so flesh out this. What exactly happened? Start from the beginning.
oh god. Okay, so I'm chilling. Do you guys remember Adam Gruber from high school?
Yes,
Name sounds
I
familiar.
do.
Gruber.
Yeah.
I do.
He didn't do any sports.
He might have played football.
No, that name does not.
Okay, you played football,
If
so
he
you
did,
would
it would've been a-
you would have definitely known. So I'm working a late night shift on a Friday night, and I'm chilling, and I get a text message from my boy Claude King. Shout out to Claude King, the man, Mr. Light Skin. You know what I'm saying? You already know. So we're homies, bro. We're boys. We've been knowing each other forever, and I get a text message from him, Ricks, at like 1 a.m. And it's like, Adam Gruber came at us on Facebook. I'm like, what do you mean he came at us on Facebook? And like, bro, just check it out.
I mean, my mind is.
Yeah.
going pretty
You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, hey.
what sort of image on Facebook?
And I'm like, to each their own, but I don't play for that team. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I go on Facebook, and Claude posted an article about his personal opinion on whether or not civilians should have the rights to bear arms after what happened in Parkland, Florida. It got a little political. You know, Adam Gruber, a Trump supporting Glenbard West alumni.
Dropout? Oh.
No, he finished.
Oh,
He
good
finished.
for him.
He finished. He finished.
Lots of time on it.
Yeah. He finished. He finished, and I knew he supported Trump, but I didn't care. I never thought anything of it. I didn't talk to the guy, whatever. So Claude has a debate, and some people who lean to the left are commenting on what he thinks, and some of them respectfully agree, some of them respectfully disagree. Adam Gruber comes out of nowhere and says, "Claude King, fuck you, man." Out of nowhere. You're the real racist here, not me. And he's like, "Dude, who are you?" And he's like, "You and Neil are pussies."
Yeah.
He says, "You and Neil are pussies."
Weak ass bitch.
Yeah, he's like, "I have more black friends than the both of you." And I'm just like, dude.
I read up to that, and I read up to because I was reading the thread, and I'm just like, what is this guy talking about? And then I stopped reading it.
What is that?
Animosity?
Ignorance?
No, fentanyl that he snorted.
You're funny as hell, dude. He said fentanyl. Like,
Well, we got an opioid problem.
you know what I'm saying?
That was part of the problem.
And his president supports his opioid problem, so and sees him as a
Anyway,
victim.
we're digressing.
No. Okay, fine. We are digressing.
problem-
These are not the
He was-
opinions
he was-
of Victor Marquez. They are not these opinions of Victor Marquez.
These opinions do not.
Yeah.
the co-host.
Yo, I mean, it was just like.
But yeah, he was probably drunk though. I mean, in all reality. he was
Yeah.
probably
Could you stop and think,
drunk
like,
for some sort of
or
context.
like we've talked about before, like when someone made that comment, when you made a comment on YouTube, some people are just straight up ignorant.
Yeah, and I would take that more as the random person on the internet says stupid ass shit all the time, which is why I don't pay any attention to it. But for somebody that you know to be like,
Yeah.
that's kind of
Like verbally assaulting me. Like,
Yeah.
literally.
it's only on somebody who you know.
Exactly. Like, again, it's one thing.
Because it's like if it's an anonymous person,
Yeah.
it makes it so much easier.
Yeah.
But if it's
And that's
you
not
know
the
their
first
face,
time.
you have talked to them face to face.
Yeah.
That is not the first time Neil and Claude have been involved in some Facebook beef.
I mean, we get into it with people
Understand
whose views, differ
and
from ours.
It was not on them that instigated this beef. It was somebody else who we went to high school with who is completely oblivious to how the world works. And again, I'm reading this, I'm just like, and he told me about it later. I'm just like, oh my god.
Yeah. But listen, even Garrett, I'll put him on blast. Garrett Hayward, okay? Garrett, his views are completely different from mine, from yours, Rick's, from you, Victor, from Claude's, whatever. You know what I'm saying? But he's respectful about it. Like, the man has a family. He's a working man. He does have, his brain cells are working. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I question how much they are, because anybody who, exalts Fox News, to me, might have some sort of, thing happening up there. But for the most part, he doesn't, make it personal.
Right.
We can respectfully disagree with each other, but when you're, insulting me, you know what I'm saying? Say, I've been following you assholes for a while, and I've been waiting for my moment. And I'm just like, dude, what have you been doing for the last 12 years?
Can I just point out, by the way, that when you said with Hayward that you could disagree with him, what you said 5 seconds prior is that he may be missing a couple of brain cells because he watches Fox News. That's not really a way to preface a respectful conversation.
Okay. So you can't say, Neil, you're being respectful, and then say he's missing brain cells. Okay.
Yes.
Let me retract that former statement.
That's not a very good way to start a mutual conversation.
That's true.
By insulting the
No,
intelligence
that's
of
true.
the
That's
person
true.
you're talking about.
It's I don't knock him for his way of thinking. I knock him for
People
where
just don't know
he's
better.
getting it
I
from.
mean-
You know what I'm saying? Like if you're okay, this is who I follow, and this is why I am socially conservative, fiscally conservative. That's cool. But if you're telling me I'm getting all of my news sources from Fox, it's like
Some people don't know better.
yeah, okay,
You used to be super anti-gay, gay marriage. You were very anti-gay marriage,
Yeah.
and now you're sort of at the very least neutral on it. I
Yeah.
mean, and that's a pretty significant shift. But it was the culture in which you were raised. I mean,
Yeah.
some people just don't know better until they're exposed to the rest of the world. Someone like Hayward. I mean, he's got his family. He's living in the area. He's not going to explore the world. He's not
Yeah.
going to visit other places. He's not going to talk to
He's
diverse
not-
people.
he's not gonna explore
And so
the
he's
world.
never going to come to that point of realization. I count all of us lucky that we've had the opportunity to step outside our comfort zones and experience different cultures and be like, I'm not going to judge it, but most people don't get that chance, don't get that experience, and we shouldn't be judgmental or elitist about it. Just because we have access to like experiences that they don't.
No, but my problem though, Ricks, is that they are like they're deliberately trying to be this way. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like they aren't trying to like.
Maybe you should just speak closer to the mic.
Maybe you should.
Because you were like a good foot and a half away from the microphone.
You guys aren't really.
Yeah,
dude, bro.
Anyway,
check yourself before you wreck yourself, dude. You gotta realize how close you are to the mic.
Poo.
You are now. Now you are, dude, bro. And seriously, you were like this, way too relaxed, and you know it because I see you smiling. I see you smiling.
Anyway, we digress.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean.
Like that's the thing. Like you have to act. It's not hard for me to live outside of my comfort zone. And here's the thing: as a black man in the United States, you have to live outside of your comfort zone. You have to. You don't have to. You have to learn how to. You know what I'm saying? Interact with white people to succeed in this world as a black man. You have to be able to at least. You know what I'm saying? Disarm them. You have to learn how to do it. It's not up for debate.
Yeah.
On the other side, it's not like a white person literally has to go out of their way to know how to be disarming to minorities, people of darker hues. You know what I'm saying? So like, I got you, but like, still, the fact is that you are trying not to learn about those other people.
No,
because
you are not trying. It's that they just people are comfortable. That
not on their radar.
They're complacent. I mean, and don't forget too that people have busy lives as they are. White privilege, the whole point is that we don't see it. Like, that's the whole problem, is that we don't see that we are afforded the luxury to not have to worry about the color of our skin, but we're still busy, we're still stressed out because we have all this other stuff going on, like the human stuff of raising a family, trying to provide for your family, being able to, like, enjoy life before you become a cripple. Like, I mean, it's all of these different things that people live busy lives. They don't have time to put themselves in other people's shoes because they're not forced to. They've never been forced to. And so this whole, like, Black Lives Matter and racial justice movement that's going on right now is making them very, very uncomfortable because it's their white privilege having allowed them to never have to think about that before until now. And so for them, it's an added burden and they'll never see that was already a burden that minority communities already carried.
Yeah.
Like, it's just...
I have to
do anything about it other than just, like, show love and compassion. Like, that's what a lot of theologians argue, is just show humanity towards your...
Yeah.
Bro, I've been watching the miniseries Waco.
Oh, I've heard that's kind of crazy.
It's a pretty insane show so far.
Is it a reenactment?
Because I never knew any of this. I never knew any of the information, like what was going on. Like, I kind of knew what it was. I just knew the word, the town Waco, but I didn't know what was going on or why it was such a huge controversy between, like, the FBI and the Branch Davidians, I think it was. But you know what? I'm watching this show, and you know what, dude? I'm 4 episodes in. It's 6 episodes. The 6th episode is airing tonight, and so David Koresh has this revelation that he is the Lamb of God, the Messiah, and he's been recruiting people for several years. And I don't know exactly the number, but there's several people, in the tens, maybe 50 or 60 people, I can't recall, who live in this what they call compound. Which right away I'm going to say this: when you say words such as cult or compound, and there was another word I was thinking of, immediately you're judging whatever it is that's being said because those words have negative connotations, right? But the way that the show portrays these people, totally normal, loving people. And yeah, it is a little weird that he's married, he has like 3 or 4 wives, but hey, he's balling. I'm just going to say right now, like, I wish that I could do that. Maybe I will. I don't know.
We all wish we could do it. We all wish we could do it.
Okay. No, but hey,
there's nothing wrong with it.
I'm not saying that there's anything wrong.
Here's the thing, too. They made this example in the show. They made this example in the show. So at one time, he had married somebody that was 14 years old, right? And so people are in the show. The radio host is saying like, don't judge if you disagree with that. That's fine, but don't judge David Koresh on that because Texas law states that you can marry someone at 14 years of age if they have parental consent. So don't be all have your panties in a knot over David Koresh. Have your panties in a knot over Texas law. That's one example. But the way that they portray these people is like they're loving people, and like their way is a little different. But they make the example like it was no different through the emergence of Jesus and modern day Christianity, 2,000 years ago. This is no different, and to not cast so much judgment on it just because it's something that is not mainstream. But it's a good ass show, dude. I'm gonna buy one of the books. There's a few books out there.
Do you guys know why polygamy
Do I know what?
isn't legal?
Why?
Yeah, do you guys
Does
know
that have
why?
something to do with taxes?
That's what they tell
So
us.
we're not going to reflect on Victor's deeply profound.
I think it was very profound how he talked about polygamy briefly just there.
How we talked about polygamy.
Yeah,
Polygamy. That was the other one. I think that was the other word.
that's what
that
they.
has a negative
Victor,
connotation.
Victor. That's what they tell us.
But again,
Hang on, I want to hear what he says real quick.
Victor,
All right, yeah.
polygamy is not legal. They tell us it's for tax purposes, but it's not. It's because the feminists would vilify men if they even thought about bringing in multiple wives. And lawmakers are
it's just a different way of life.
and lawmakers are afraid of that. And lawmakers are terrified of that. They don't want that smoke.
there's health concerns too.
How are there health concerns?
That's what I've heard.
That's bullshit. It's bullshit.
You know what needs to happen?
What needs to happen?
If this is a movement that, I mean,
It's
maybe you get no.
It's
I'm saying
so unfair. How can you sit there? Listen, listen again. For me, Rix, you brought this up. Back in the day, I used to be anti-gay because growing up in a conservative African household, you were just taught that type of thought process, that type of behavior is unjust. But then you realize as you grow up to kind of bounce off of your point of showing love and compassion that who am I to say what someone else should do? I can't point his finger and say you should love a woman and it's right if you don't. It's unjust for me to tell you what you should and shouldn't do if you aren't hurting anybody in the process. But isn't that the same thing we're doing by preventing people from having multiple spouses if they so choose? And when I say that to the feminists, they ain't got nothing to say. Put the smartest feminist in the world, and I will out-debate her. I will dance around her in circles.
As long as there is equality in this
Yes.
polygamy.
Yes.
That no, in the sense that women could have multiple husbands.
Yes. Yeah, I'm not saying a man should have multiple wives, but women should. No.
Yeah.
That would be unequal. That would be.
Of all the theological movements that I read over my time in seminary, none of them ever advocated for polygamy. Everything else, everything under the sun, from transvestite to gay marriage to black theology to everything else, but I never read one about polygamy. And in my head, I was always thinking to myself, well, what that movement needs is it needs a group to advocate on its behalf that's accepted, like the gay movement was, like the women's movement was. You see, movements need like people to articulate their position to the mainstream, because until you have those spokespeople for a movement, you're just going to have all these people saying that's an absurd idea. How dare
Victor, it would
it.
piss off, dude. Female
You
feminists.
are being really antagonistic towards feminists.
No. I'm just saying. Listen, first of all, we're all feminists here. We are all
Don't
feminists.
say that.
No, but it's the truth.
You're
We
not
are.
a feminist.
Yes, I am.
You are.
Yes, I am. I'm an egalitarian, which is
Do you
a
understand
synonym
the
for feminism.
principles of feminism?
Yes.
Name the principles of feminism.
It's very easy, Rix. I believe that a woman should be afforded all of the same rights as a man. Period. I'm not going to sit there and argue against
Feminism
that.
is also about women's empowerment as well.
I'm all for empowering women.
It means that they're able to speak up and you shut up and listen. Like, that's the point of feminism, is that if you're a feminist, it means that you as a male will be quiet and listen to women more than you'll give your opinion.
Absolutely. What's the problem with that?
Do you believe
That was a real sharp turn of the head, Rix.
No, I have no issue with that.
Can I do a spit take?
I don't know what that is, but sure, go ahead.
we rewind. I think.
What did you ask
And
me?
say that.
You asked me if I agree with, if I believe Neil.
I'm going to let you settle this. I've said my piece.
No, I'm
I'll
not.
let you sort of choose where we go.
I don't.
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Okay. So, Well, I agree with. I mean, I believe Neil. I believe all three of us sitting here would like to see women be treated the exact same as men, right?
Absolutely.
Can we all agree on that?
They should be afforded the same rights. Now, if they choose not to do something, then that's different. But they should be allowed to do whatever we're allowed to do.
Rix, I have a question for you. What do you do? Let's say if you're with a woman, you're going up to a restaurant or something, and you open the door for them, and they almost attack you, saying like, "What, are you opening the door for me? Like, you think I can't open my own?" Like someone who's maybe like a super staunch feminist. Which is fine.
That's a shit test. That's a Samantha Jacobson shit test. That's exactly what it is.
I tend to ignore it in the same way that any asshole acts like that.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't view that as a representation of feminists, because I think that sort of thing gives feminists a bad name. That you have those sort of assholes who are out there who are just gonna who are just mean, nasty people. It doesn't matter. They use feminism in the same way that like assholes use Christianity to justify.
I was about to get to that.
They unfairly use feminism.
Yeah. Of what
the movement
means.
is about.
And so, yeah, I would agree with Neil that that's not a very good portrayal, because I would just say you're an asshole.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it. See, my volume's still not really showing.
Yeah. I don't know what to do for you, bro.
Go on.
No, that was it. I just had I guess I was using that an example to segue into chivalry and how chivalry can coexist with.
It doesn't have to be. I mean, here's the thing. I'm opening the door for you because you're a person. I would open the door for you. Is it chivalrous for me to open the door for you, Victor or Rix, coming in?
Okay, so just to clarify, feminism.
Yeah.
I believe there are, and I am by no means an expert when it comes to feminism, but there are 3 different types of.
Three jackasses sitting around talking about feminism.
Yeah. We're just a bunch of jackasses.
Where have I seen this before?
3 jackasses.
Yo, man, the same jackass. Yeah.
This reminds me of our library conversation.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of.
Our very first recording.
I mean,
except it was worse. The topic was 1,000 times worse.
Us dudes talking about what's right for women.
Oh, no.
We just need a cigar and some brandy and a fireplace.
A little bit of smoke in the room.
Yeah.
This sounds like an episode of Mad Men, seriously, dude. I don't know how I feel about this.
Hey, sugar tits, refill my glass, will you?
This isn't 1959, yo. We can't be doing that stuff. No, but we can. I mean,
so no, just as a point of clarification, there are as I understand it, there are 3 waves of feminism, first, second, and third waves, and we are currently in the third wave of feminism, which is a little weird. I don't really understand the third wave feminism. It has to do with a lot of the way that people interact in social media, criticizing other people and being like, you need to use gender neutral terms. You can't say God is a he kind of thing, and being like, if you say God is a he, you're a bad person. That tends to be more of the third wave feminism, whereas second and first deal more with equality or changing the way that our system, because we have a very masculine system. We have a male-centered system.
Yeah.
I mean, look at our military. Our military is the largest thing that we have. And that's male-centered.
Yeah,
that's
absolutely.
Our money.
And so a wave of
we only
feminism
have
deals with
presidents,
overturning that and says, instead of spending those resources on the military and stuff like that, we should spend on things like on teachers and education. And so that's incorporated into just changing the entire culture. So that's a different way of feminism. And then the most basic way of feminism is we want equality. We want to be treated in this society the same as men and women. So, it's pretty complex, and so when people say that they're a feminist, it would be interesting to say, well, which wave of feminist are you? Because they probably don't know, and that normally means they're a third wave feminist.
Again,
I'm just saying,
I mean, again, I'm sorry to cut you off, Rix, but again, I was coming at it from a very simplistic way, but
you can't co-opt the word. You can't say that I am this thing that fundamentally I don't know if I understand the principles.
No, I'm just saying by definition of the word. If you look up feminism, it just said someone who believes women should be afforded the same rights as men. If you do not, then you are a sexist. But if you do, then you are a feminist. Words synonymous with the term feminism, egalitarian, something else. That's it. That's it.
Did it look it up for you?
No,
we did this once
it said,
before.
Where is Davidson?
We did this once before where we tried to look something up, and what were we looking up that one time? And like Siri couldn't do it, so then I had to just end up typing it in Google, and like Google was frozen, and we're just sitting here for like a bunch of idiots just trying to look something up.
Episode. Don't respond to your texts.
No, I'm looking it up. The advocacy of women's rights on the basis of equality of the sexes. That's it.
Yeah, feminism. That was me pronunciating the word with the upside down E.
Listen, man.
When they show you how to pronounce it.
Let me tell you something.
So that is the broad generalization. Yeah, the broad category. So yeah, I mean, okay. Fine.
Listen,
It does say it is a range. Is a range of political movements, ideologies, and social movements that share a common goal to define, establish, and achieve political, economic, personal, and social equality of sexes.
Yes, equality.
This includes
on
seeking
all
to
different
establish
scales.
educational and professional opportunities for women that are equal to those for men.
Absolutely.
I would say that Neil did a pretty good job of simplifying and bringing it to the point.
Absolutely.
While Rick's is trying to complicate it.
Victor is why is he so mad?
I want to provide at least some
No, Rick's.
insight
Here's
as
here.
jackass.
No, and that's funny, and I understand his reticence, to not believe me, because like, Neil, you're full of shit, bro. I've known you for 15 years. Like, don't come at me after 2 months and try to act like you're some enlightened ass, dude. I get it. I get it. I understand.
You know, he goes to China and he comes back.
You know what I'm saying? I'm like,
and
and I've got this zen, and there's this halo around me. Like, no, it's not that. But I'm very close with my mother, and that's probably one of the hardest working women I know. And I would not be here, and doing what I'm doing and thriving as a man if she was not afforded those rights. If someone told her to shut up and dribble. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
I wonder if that reference is going to get old anytime soon.
Hell no. Hell no.
That seems to actually be one of those things that could stick around for a while. That's like
well,
a very concise summary of. But anyway,
tell your woman to stop clamoring at me.
Oh yeah, back in the day.
Oh my God.
No. Stop clamoring.
I mean, yeah. But that's a problem though. I don't like people speaking to me out of line when I haven't done anything wrong.
Dude, I told Rix this. Have you seen the movie Clueless?
Yeah.
When was the last time you watched that movie?
I think I watched it with you.
No, dude. I saw it once a long time ago.
I think I watched it with you, like at your house or something.
I
like
saw
in
it
high
again
school.
like a few days ago, and like Donald Faison plays this character, and the first thing he said, and I thought of you because in the movie he's like wearing braces, and I remember when you were like, I was thinking I might get some braces or something, and we were like, dude, no, like you're not a teenage anymore. You can't do that to yourself. Yeah. But then he says. He says to the character, he says to Stacey Dash's character, like, "Hey, woman." Hey, he doesn't even call her by her name during the movie, and she's like, "You gotta stop calling me woman." And then Alicia Silverstone's character is like, "Yeah, you can't be doing." So they gang up on him, but like throughout the movie, he just addresses her as woman.
Yeah,
and he hangs with his boys and making jokes. He's like, ah. Just being a goof.
Because we're taught. Let me tell you something. We're taught as men, right, that, and there's no conclusive evidence to prove this, right? So people are speaking merely from their own personal experiences. Rick, you would call this anecdotal, right? That people believe that components or elements of chauvinism entice women. They do. They think that. I don't know how true it is, but a lot of us are taught that growing up. So that's why we act like that. It's a front. You know what I'm saying?
That I know.
It's not. No.
It does grab their attention more than. Hey,
hi, I'm Rick Norcell, and I believe that you should be afforded. Can I carry your books today, ma'am? I'm an egalitarian. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's like, so that's what we're taught. Like, so that's why a lot of us like lash out and act that way. Because
you were taught. I was
taught. No. I say we as in people who have similar mindsets as I used to have.
It's more than just a pretty face, my friend.
I'm sorry.
You have to interest me. If you interest me, I'm going to interest you. Like
interest you how? Like in like intelligence, humor, wit.
the whole
All of the
thing, man.
above?
Be
Okay.
an interesting person.
Okay.
Different strokes for different folks. Some people
Okay.
don't
And
care about what's
you
interesting.
know what? Interesting people are attracted to me, so I don't have to worry.
Riggs, you're the man, bro. You're the
I
man.
know.
You're the man.
Thank you.
Nikita's been saying it for years,
I'm
like
glad.
literally years.
Yeah, I think you finally hear you say that.
I've said it. I've said it 1,000 times. You just probably tuned me out when I did because you thought I was trolling. Like Neil ain't like, yeah, but like, you know. But I mean. So again, that's why like people act that way. You know, they don't. I don't think they sincerely believe that, but they're like, you know, like how else am I supposed to do this?
Yeah.
Like it's only natural for me to approach this being like, you know, in this primitive
Right.
type of way.
I got
because,
you.
Hey, you know, I've got needs to fulfill. You know, I mean, we're just keeping it real. I mean, this is
just
how,
riffing.
you know, I'm not saying this type of thinking is correct. I'm not advocating for it. 10 years ago, I would have. 5 years ago, I would have. No. 2 years ago, I would have. But now, as I've grown a little bit, and I've done some reading, and I talked to
traveled.
you know, and
experienced the world.
I mean, the company I work for is a progressive company, so I speak with feminists like women marching, pussy grab back like type of chicks all the time. And what do you call them? No. This pussy grabs back type of marching ass girls. You know, like picketing.
They have the pink hats though.
No. I don't know if they do, but you know, but yeah, straight up. So I've had talks with them, and they've schooled me a little bit. You know, so.
Well, speaking of equality, how are you feeling in Donald Trump's America? I feel like
Me?
Yeah. Well, okay, because I know that leading up to the election, and we actually haven't really talked about this. Because you're like, I don't even know who to vote. I might vote for Jill Stein, or I might vote for Bernie Sanders, or something like that.
I voted for Bernie Sanders in the primary.
Yes.
I did not vote for Hillary
vote.
Clinton.
You didn't vote. You did not vote.
I did because I did not support the candidates. I should have done what my boy did. I should have wrote in Hillary Duff's name and told everybody. No, you didn't do that. I should have wrote in Hillary Duff's name and told everybody, yeah, I voted for Hillary.
So you don't feel like the world, nothing really has changed for better or worse with Donald Trump versus Hillary Clinton. You still think that?
Yeah. Never have we had more unfavorable candidates. The DNC rigged that primary to make sure that she ended up as our candidate. It is, and you know it.
It is interesting to see as the information comes out. I was very skeptical about this at first, but as the information has come out, it's looking more and more like the Democratic Party is being a little bunch of shysters.
Yeah.
Like I'm very surprised, and I don't put that on Hillary Clinton. I don't blame Hillary Clinton for that. Those are the white men in the smoke-filled rooms trying to determine the world, because no one knows who these people are who made these decisions behind closed doors to try and tilt the election towards Hillary Clinton. But I mean, you know, Hillary Clinton's not going to say like, "No, how dare you support the Democratic Party?
Yeah,
why would you do such a thing?" So I mean, it's not her fault, but I am shocked at the levels in which they went to try and discredit and like tamp death down. Now you have to realize that the Russians stoked your guys's and Bernie Sanders supporters' emotions by putting out all this stuff about conspiracy theories about Hillary Clinton's. I don't know if you've heard that.
Yeah.
The Russians.
I hear about Russian collusion all the time. I don't know exactly what all that means. Yeah.
And so a lot of things that people believe about Bernie Sanders or believe about Hillary Clinton in the Bernie Sanders area is Russian propaganda, and most of that actually is fake. So I don't know if like that's been something that you've thought about at all. Like, have I believed stuff that actually the Russians fed me? Like, am I buying into Russian propaganda? Because if you're on Facebook, that's entirely possible. They really took a deuce on this election. Like, they allowed a lot of fake news to go out, and so stuff that you were reading, if you ever read articles or posts or stuff that was trending on Facebook, you likely read Russian propaganda.
Did you say the Huffington Post was reputable, or they're more like the left version of Fox?
No, they are also propaganda.
Okay, because while you were speaking, I looked up. What I really like about Google is it's got like the headlines before you type anything.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
The autofill.
And it just came up for Huffington Post. Florida moves to arm teachers after school massacre. I thought to myself, let me see who wrote this. Huffington Post. I think I recall Rick saying something that's not an entirely reputable news source to go.
So they lack credibility, is what you're saying?
They sensationalize.
Okay.
For clicks, they like being clickbait.
So, like,
Okay.
for example, it says that Florida moves to arm teachers after school massacre. Either they were talking about this, or maybe like one school district did it, and they're trying to make it look like the entire state is doing it.
Or some rogue random congressperson saying we need to propose this, who's
Right.
never going to get any traction. But it's like, oh, look at what the Republicans
Yeah,
are
okay.
proposing. When it's this one random ass dude who you can't control.
Was Trump in support of this random ass dude that suggested we arm our teachers in this event? Like, because I saw a headline.
talking about?
Like, did Donald Trump, like, has he come out and, like, supported this idea? Like, yeah, this is something we should look into.
Yes, he said.
Okay,
several press
okay.
conferences and it's the NRA's position. The
Okay.
NRA's position is they want to turn schools into military compounds. They're very clear that they want schools to be armed to the teeth.
Like, what is
And
this,
so,
Tel
like,
Aviv?
I've talked with Victor about
This
this.
ain't
about
Palestine,
restoration,
bro.
But it's like, is this the type of world we want to live in? Like, where we send our children to jail, like, for the day. Like, go to this military
bro.
compound. You have soldiers with Uzis wandering the halls to make sure that there's no, trouble. Everyone's locked down. They got bars on the windows. They got, bulletproof everything all over the place. You can't move anywhere. Everyone's got their wrist sensor detectors that they have to wear when they walk into the room.
Dude, you know what would happen then? Well, that happens. Then they're just like, well, while we're here, we may as well train all these people. So they're going to fucking start training like
You
14 and
realize-
15-year-old kids and just,
Victor,
and then turn them, what?
Fox News is proposing this. There are hosts on Fox News that are saying we need to train these kids in martial arts and to learn how to
They're just gonna
learn how to kill attackers.
How do you apprehend?
We need to turn these into military compounds and train our children to be killers. It's basically what they're proposing.
It's like
what the fuck?
It'd be
are
like
you talking about?
a legal loophole on how to train, like military training for the Army or Marines.
They're halfway there. They're not quite there.
That's what they do in the Middle East.
They want to train children in physical defense. Not all of them. This is a couple of, I have to say, further right people's suggestions. But they want to arm all the teachers or arm some of the teachers, even arming some of the teachers. Would you have felt comfortable if you knew any of our teachers were armed going to high school? Like had a gun?
If I knew they had it depends on how they carried themselves. If I knew they had like a military background and they knew what they were doing, then yes.
Coach
but
Carp?
hell no. No way.
Probably double as his boss.
Dude, the best cheeseburger I've ever had. I have nothing wrong, nothing negative to say about that, man. Shout out to Coach Carp if you're listening. Yeah,
he does follow through in his promises.
Hey, we turned out all right, Coach
How
Carp.
did he-
those 100-meter hurdles, and
He
Yeah.
bought him a
Coach Carp
cheeseburger.
Yeah, yeah.
What? When was this?
I had to do a drill correctly, and I was struggling to 3-step because you hurdle, you step 3 times, and whatever. You know what I'm saying? But he's like, Neil, if you could do it, I'll get you a cheeseburger. And I was just hungry as hell, and I did what I had to do to
He
eat.
was one of the
Literally,
coaches?
After Coach Carp said, "If you do it, I'll give you a cheeseburger," and he was like, "Oh, okay." And you just he transformed into this athlete, and then he just
Yeah.
and he's done. And Coach Carp is like, it was like one of those things. Were you being one of those pool shark people who tricked me into?
Did I hustle him? Did I bamboozle him into happening?
Because I don't think that you were able to ever do it that well again.
No, I was.
I think that was the last time that you did.
Vic, you ever been hungry?
Yeah.
I was hungry, bro. You feel me?
Yeah, I got you.
But
Food speaks, man.
man, you know what? You gotta incentivize stuff for people, especially young testosterone-driven men. You know.
But I feel so bad because the kids these days have to they're taught active shooter drills. We never had to do that. I don't remember.
Dude, when I was
No.
at the Naperville
Active
Park
shooter
District, we did the
drills?
dumbest shit. So we go to this place we did one of those active shooter drills, and it was so stupid. I didn't learn anything from it. It was one of those things where, on paper, yes, these people went through the classroom. It was just like a legal thing, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
Because you know what they did? We went outside, and the guy's like, all right, guys, now everyone just find a spot to hang out. I'm going to pretend like I'm the shooter. I'm going to be using these tennis balls to throw at you. All right? I'm going to be saying bang when I throw them.
Yeah.
And he just threw tennis balls at us, and we have to go and run and find a place to hide
I
outside.
bet you that shit's not happening right
It
now.
was so
I
stupid.
I totally bet
It was
you
so
that
stupid.
They are not taking it that lightly anymore.
I can't remember what happened, why they instigated that, because that would have been in 2015
Yeah.
or so.
Yep.
I've lost track of all of the shootings that have happened.
It's been in waves. Schools have started adopting these policies.
Yeah.
Like individually, and there hasn't been really any sort of national regulation. But schools have been arming up. I mean, look at Glenbard West, how it's changed. I mean, we've locked down our campus.
Yeah.
And all schools are taking procedures right now to sort of do it. You have schools in Texas that already have armed guards, you know, and inner city schools. A lot of these inner city schools, you have
metal detectors.
Well, you have the metal detectors,
Yeah.
and then you also have armed. I don't know if they're city cops or if they are private security forces, but they have armed people in a lot of these schools already. So when people are proposing army teachers or things like that, like, I mean, the reality is we're already seeing a good portion of the community just already preemptively having to do that.
You know how a lot of people are like, I'm turning 30, I'm so old.
It's going to be an old thing.
What do you mean?
No, go on. I'm 30. That's why.
No, I'm not making fun of old people. What I'm getting is...
Oh, fuck you!
What I'm getting at is...
Fuck you.
No, what I'm getting... I should say I'm not making fun of people who are whining about getting old. But I'm pumped to get older year after year. Because I'm pumped for like, yes, I'm 30. It's like a newer version, a more wise version of the 20s. Because you're still youthful. But what I'm getting is I'm super pumped to be like 90 years old. Just so that I can look back on, oh, yes, I do remember the Parkland shooting. I do remember this going on in politics.
I remember
Donald
9/11.
Trump. I do remember 9/11. And have, like, a whole catalog of memories and being able to live through and see the world change.
And
that's what I'm excited about.
On Facebook.
Victor, what did David Bowie say?
Oh, it was... I don't remember the exact phrasing, but it was something along the lines that... Well, you remember it exactly.
Yeah, I don't remember exactly.
It was like men. What was it?
So I'll paraphrase. He pretty much said that we shouldn't view growing old as a bad thing because you become the person you should have been your entire life.
Yes.
You know, but the people who fear getting older are those who haven't done their homework. Another great quote that I read recently is society will make losers out of those that fail to invest in themselves. You know, if you've been doing what you're supposed to do, you know, throughout your 20s, you know, and I'm not saying everything was perfect, but I think the three of us have done excellent jobs on working on ourselves and studying and networking and having experiences outside of our comfort zones and humbling ourselves so we can learn and become better versions of ourselves in the long run. So we're doing all right at 29, or if you're old as hell like Rick's. He looks 35. He's actually 30, y'all.
Dude, let me real quick. I want to read. I looked up some David Bowie quotes,
Yeah.
and they're really awesome.
Yeah.
First one,
Who's David Bowie again?
I'll explain later.
A guy who Michael Jackson pissed off. That's
says,
all you need to know.
I don't know where I'm going from here, but I promise it won't be boring. The truth is, of course, is that there is no journey. We are arriving and departing all at the same time.
Lame.
I'm an instant star. Just add water and stir.
All right. How long are we gonna have to go through this?
We're not. I was only leading. I was only going to read 3.
He's going to go with the 3.
I was only going to read 3.
Also, R.I.P. Hugh Hefner. Ricks, what do you think about Hugh Hefner?
Nobody.
Yes. Because a man in this country is not supposed to have multiple women. It is primitive.
Dude, you know what my mom said?
It is wrong. It is abhorrent.
You know what my mom said?
I remember the night that he died. It was I had seen an article on it, or it was trending on Twitter, I think, and all the newscasts. It was like the very last thing that they said is like, and in remembrance, Hugh Hefner passed away today. Well, that's it for the night.
Yeah.
News tonight. Like, and that was it. They didn't say anything about what he did or anything about who he was.
He has this show.
He died.
It's called
Playboy After Dark.
Yeah,
or something like
no,
that.
It's like a show based on his career.
Yeah, I watched that, and my mom watched it.
On
and she
on Amazon Prime or whatever.
Yeah, my mom watched it, and
so dope.
she
You need to get
recommended
into
it
that.
to me, and my mom became a fan of Hugh Hefner after watching that.
Ricks, you need to look into that. As someone like as one of the most, and I hate tooting this guy's horn, as one of the most creative people I know, and as a writer, and as a sharp ass dude, like from someone who came up in Chicago with this artistic view of this publication that he would create and where he saw it going, like, in subsequent decades. Like, it's super dope. It is super
It's really
dope.
great.
And it
What's
is
it called?
American Story, Playboy, something like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just type in Hugh Hefner and I'm sure it'll pop up.
In Amazon Prime, bro. Yeah, check it out.
Right.
Yeah, this is for you. I'm not doing this for me. This is for you, bro.
That is
Thanks,
really
man.
good.
Yeah.
Appreciate
You know,
it.
I hope you do,
You're
man.
so kind.
But it is such a dope story, and no one appreciates that, man. And I remember one day, like, I brought a Playboy to work, but I read the articles. I read the articles because they had some pretty interesting articles. Like, they interviewed Malcolm X, they interviewed Dr. King, like,
Surprisingly progressive.
Yeah.
Paper, like really progressive.
a
Very.
strong advocate for social justice and equality for all.
Yeah, it's a super dope series.
Like.
And you think about it, I mean, all of these sort of institutions, Playboy included, are all going to have their flaws. But look at the things that they have been able to contribute to society. Like, yeah, they haven't been able to fix all the problems. In fact, they probably contributed to it.
They're in the top
But-
3 most recognizable brands in the world.
Damn,
The
it's
money.
Yeah.
yeah.
I think it's number 3 behind
Yeah.
Coca-Cola and Apple. I don't know what the order is, but I think it's Coca-Cola, Apple, and the Playboy Bunny are the
Yeah, I
3
would
most
imagine
recognizable
that, yeah.
brands in the entire world.
You guys. Well, it is the last day of Black History Month, so it might not matter anymore. But
Oh, I know.
you guys, I know. What are we gonna
Yeah.
do, right?
That's
I mean, well, we can watch Black Panther. You know, after we were done filming this, you know what I'm saying? Fry some ribs, you know, listen to some rap music, you know, and you know what I'm saying, you know, because I mean, Black culture has contributed a lot to America. You know what I'm saying? In negative ways, but in mostly positive ways, and it's something that really goes under the microscope. You know, I mean, you know, those Glen Ellen kids, the sons and daughters of these waspy ass parents. You know what I'm saying? Love them some hip hop. You know, love them some Lil Jon. You know.
Yeah, it's interesting. And the difference between white collar and blue collar, like, worlds are very revealing.
Yeah.
I feel like I've learned a lot these past couple of years working in drywall. I've told Rick this a lot, but it's weird being around a bunch of, like, white dudes who are very resentful, especially of the Hispanic community, for coming in and appreciating labor values.
Yeah.
But, like,
They're taking our jobs. Name that celebrity.
a lot of women haters. A lot of, like, they hate women. Like, and they're just open about it. Racist, sexist, like, they are who they are, and everyone just sort of accepts it. It's the culture.
Really?
Whereas the white collar world is, like, respectable. Like, people treat each other with respect. You know, integrity. If you're supposed to do a job, you're expected to get it done and done fully. Whereas in the blue collar work, it's pretty normal for people just to do half the job and then just leave and be like, oh, I guess I forgot, kind of thing. It's very
Interesting.
weird. And everyone's just bitter and angry. Not everyone, but there's a lot of bitterness and a lot of anger and a lot of resentment towards us type of people.
Why do you think that is? Have you
Because-
been able to dissect that, or is that still
because these are people who
a
are
huge
working
mystery?
with their hands, who have low education, who are like,
Okay.
you have these smart, college-educated elitists like looking down on us. We're building their homes, but and so I think that has a lot to do with it. Is that you have a lot of these people who are working to build things for people who can afford to buy things, and they're living in this wholly separate world. And I think that there's a lot of anger and jealousy and envy and feeling like, if you're treated like garbage, then you're gonna act like garbage and just blow away in the wind.
And they feel like the powers that be, those who are influential, have alienated them. You know what I'm saying?
And a lot of people are treated pretty poorly in the blue collar world, in the construction world, and just as I've seen it.
Yeah.
It's there's reason for people to be bitter, for sure. And you think about it too, you add in these people who are just don't know how to think critically. Like, they've never been taught how to think critically. Like, form an argument, use evidence. Like, they don't know how to do that. And so when they're told something, and most of them do watch Fox News, when they're told something, and that informs their worldview. So it's like, yes, Mexicans are the enemy because they have stolen your jobs. And they don't know how to think critically, so Fox News tells them something, and they say, oh, as I understand it, someone who I trust, a news source, is telling me this, I must believe it. And the insidious part about Fox News and conservative media is that you can't trust anyone else. You only have to trust conservative media. And so that kind of eliminates any escaping from the bubble, because you're told all these other people are wrong, not just wrong, but they're evil as well. And so you have to stay away from them and just listen to us, because we're the only ones who tell you the truth. They don't know any better. They don't know how to form their own sort of opinion against that. They're just people trying to make it by day. So, I think it feeds. It's a very cyclical environment.
Yeah.
I think that political elites, not just Fox News, not just the media, not just politicians, but industry leaders and a lot of people have done a very good job at sort of creating this cycle of resentment in the working class in a way that just, if they're not focused on feeding their families, they're focused on their anger and resentment towards the fact that they have to worry about feeding their families. And who causes that? It's your neighbor, is what the elites tell you.
But again, I mean, who do you point the finger at? Because Victor asked a good question. Where do you think that comes from? But again, those who have failed to invest in themselves. At the end of the day, the foundation
you have
of
it's their choice to invest in themselves. It's not always everyone's choice.
You do have a choice. You choose not to. Does anyone like Rick? Do I force Ray's colleagues to say you can only watch Fox News? Hey, try something else. Talk to somebody. See what his experience is like. Think outside of the box. Think outside of the box.
I have never seen a black person in my life, and all I knew...
They've seen black people. They've seen Latinos. Okay, but you can't use it in this type of scenario because it doesn't apply to their particular situation. I know these guys. I meet these types of guys at all. The Adam Grubers of the world. That's why, how do you say something so stupid and ignorant to me, but you have black friends? You know what I'm saying? How do you still have this small-minded thinking?
But you never learned how to listen. You have trouble listening, but you at least have a concept of what listening is. You can incorporate new information and change your mind. These people don't know how to listen. That's a fundamental thing they never learned how to do. If you don't know how to listen, you're never going to grow. You're never going to change your mind. Because you haven't heard anything.
That's a really good...
Literally, it's just boom, 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 boom.
You're just waiting for your turn to talk.
You say things. You're literally exactly. You are literally just waiting for your turn to talk. So anything that anyone says to them is like boink, boink, boink. Because they protected themselves and they're just focused on what they're gonna say next. Doesn't matter what anyone else says to them. Doesn't matter. You could be screaming that in their face and they're just like, well, how am I gonna respond to this next?
Yeah.
And so.
Yeah.
They haven't been, and I don't think that that's their fault. I think that's public education system's fault for not being able to teach people how to listen before coming up with their own argument. That's part of the problem, is that people just don't know how to listen. They're told, you need to be independent, you need to have your own voice, you need to be able to be you, right? And in the process of being you, you've forgotten about everyone else.
Yeah. But let's say, especially a lot of people in this town, you go to school with someone since kindergarten. So we all went to the same, in this town, the same school system. So how is it that some people have the ability to actively listen and maintain an open mind, and other people just don't care and just want to say what they want to say?
Well, you got to think about you're the son of an educator, I'm the son of an educator, and you're the son of an educator. So our parents were all, at some point throughout their careers, they taught. So then they came home and they said, no, motherfucker, here's how it is. No one gives a fuck about you when you leave this house. So you've got to make sure that you could be at least somewhat sharp and able to critically think so you can survive. That shit's important.
Yeah, and every person's reason for why they're an ignorant dumb fuck is unique to their own experience.
Yeah.
And there's always a reason. No one thinks of themselves as a bad person. No one thinks of themselves as a bad person.
You've been saying this for 12 years,
even
man.
The worst murderers don't think of
That's
themselves
the one thing Rick's has been consistent
person.
with Rick's over the last 12 years. From junior high to high school to college to seminary school to his time as a pastor to becoming an entrepreneur. You've always said that, and you have a point though.
And so Yeah, like, these people who are saying really horrible and hateful things, I guarantee you they're not going to bed at night thinking, I'm a bad person. I should really change the way that I feel.
Every time we talk
Is
about
that what they
this,
sound like?
he reverts back to like an
It's
Alabama accent. Alabama.
The one thing someone said to me, and they were like, you want to become smarter in life? And I was like, yeah, I would love to. They're like, well, realize that you are vastly incompetent. There's a lot out there that you don't know. So we as humans, especially Americans, we tend to overestimate our competence in all types of fields. And that's what sets us back a lot. Realize like that you don't know shit. And even what you do know is only a little part of so much more. And once you realize that, and it's okay. All people are. No one is, supremely competent in all fields. It's okay to not know things and be willing to humble yourself so you can learn and grow from that. So when you come to that realization, like, it's okay, like, you tend to, learn to listen more better.
How did Elliot Hulse get here? I
got you.
Elliot Hulse definitely didn't say that, by the way. But
no, Evan Carmichael might though.
Evan Carmichael didn't say it either.
He might say that.
No, there's
I'm saying.
But he would say something. Yeah, you know what I mean. But like straight up and that's what like I'm all right.
Dude, But the problem is, and this is the thing I've learned over the years, is that over the past couple of years, is that I mean, yes, none of us think that we're bad people, but like, we probably are in one form or another. And that's the hardest thing to realize, is that, yeah, we're probably fucking up royally in one form or another. And it's a matter of asking, to what degree are you, like, I mean, to what degree are you fucking up other people's experiences, right?
Absolutely.
That's why you gotta find a shaman in South America and have him mix up some, what's that called? It's a special blend of roots.
Trying our best.
It's a special blend of roots that helps you see what you're doing, what you shouldn't be doing, what you need to be
I
doing.
believe that's called cocaine.
No,
Hey, Victor.
No, it's ayahuasca.
Victor, my cousin asked me
DMT.
the other day. I was like, I don't know. I'll ask Victor when I see him. How many countries have you traveled to?
I've only been. It's going to be a shocker. If you count Canada, that's one.
The United States.
No, I don't count United States. Canada, Mexico, Peru, Brazil, Spain. Those
Okay.
I've only been to 5.
Okay. You haven't been to France?
No.
You have not been to Asia?
No.
Okay. Anywhere you plan
The
on
only
going?
reason I said if you count Canada is because it's pretty similar in terms of culture to the United States. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but if
I
they
didn't say
if
it
they,
to make a joke.
if
I
they,
kind of
if,
did.
if
but
they if they stamp my passport, I count it.
yeah. So
Yeah.
Canada, Mexico, Spain, Peru, and Brazil.
Okay.
Is this set up to brag about how many countries you've been to?
Absolutely
How
not.
many countries have you been to, Neil?
It was not set up to brag. Believe me.
No, tell
what
us
what
that.
do they call
We're
that?
all very-
Isn't there a phrase for that? Like, you ask a question just so somebody can ask you a question. But you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, there is a term.
Do
for
you
that.
you don't know right now?
I can't
Okay,
think of
we'll
it.
figure it out. Almost 24. Almost 24.
Almost 24?
Yeah.
You
So
don't know exactly.
I mean, I would have to. It's 21,
You
22.
lost track. It's been so many countries.
Yeah, it's like 21, 22. It's not quite. Yeah, but I mean, but whatever. It's cool. No, my cousin asked me that. I'm like, I don't know. She's like, ask him that, because they were asking about you guys, and
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah. I mean, I know they've traveled, so that's why they're open-minded and
So 20 countries.
Yeah,
Is
let's-
there any place that's on your list of places that you haven't planned to travel to yet but really want to go?
Brazil. I'm pretty sure my wife is there.
Brazil is dope.
Yeah, future Mrs. Batang.
Ask Victor where to go.
Yeah.
If you end up going there.
Is there a
Have
country that you've been
inside
to that you
source.
will never go back?
There's a city I've been to that I'll never go back.
Which city?
An American city, Portland, Oregon. God. Dude, Portland, Oregon effing sucks. What the? Did I tell you guys
Why?
about Portland?
No.
It is though. It's so weird.
Why?
It's so weird. Okay, there's no black folk. There are no black folk, and if you want to find them, they're at the Nike store. Go to the Nike store, you'll see all the black people in Portland, and then you leave and they just vanish. It's like they only exist, in the
Nike
confines
store.
of a retail Nike store. That's it. Other than that, you can't find them. Like, it's super weird. It's always gray. Like, it sucked. Like, the girls there just aren't that pretty. The food is delicious, and from an aesthetic point, It's very beautiful. Verandas and gorges and hills and wine and beer and it's whatever, but it's just, it sucks. I could never live there. I can never go there. Like, Victor, I remember like waiting for an Uber and a homeless person or bum pops out of a dumpster. Like, whoa, what's going on here? I'm like, dude, why the fuck are we here, bro? Why are we here? Like, I remember, like, I was waiting for an Uber another time, like, to meet up with my friends, and there's a homeless lady having a full-out conversation with herself, and she's talking, and she's babbling, going back and forth, and I'm like, are you all right? And she breaks her conversation, and she's like, yeah, baby, I'm good, are you? I'm like, yeah, I'm cool, okay, cool. And then she goes back to having a full-out conversation with herself. It is the scariest thing ever.
Goodness.
It is weird, dude.
Literally every caricature that you could think of Portland, Oregon, you just summed it up.
I think of
Dude.
hipster when I think
I'm
of
like,
Portland,
But
Oregon
it's like,
as well.
but it's like,
I think he summed it up really.
but it's
I
like,
really want to
like,
go
how
there
I-
now.
it's bro, please don't go there.
Homeless guy just jumped
Believe
out of
me.
that dumpster.
Yeah.
I think that's something that really is just like, hello.
Yo, what's up, bro?
Hello.
It's a Sunday morning. I'm outside waiting before brunch. I'm like, dude, what the like I was talking to my friend and stuff. Me and my buddy were having a conversation. He's smoking a cigarette. Some chick runs by us and throws a stuffed animal at us. I'm like, what the fuck is this? What the
hell is
fuck
going
is it?
on?
The most unfriendly, like, homeless people I've ever met. Like, damn. Portland? Dude, oh my God. Bars close there at like 10 p.m. 10 p.m.
That's
I'm like, last call. I'm like, oh, you guys gonna shut down? I'm like, last call. Like, oh, like, as in we can't eat anymore? No, as in we're closing. I'm like, it's 9:45. What are you talking about? Dude, it is so weird, dude. And like, I remember, like, I work with 3 people from Portland, and like, yeah, I'm from Portland. I'm like, it's like, yeah, that makes sense. That makes so
You understood
much,
them a little bit
dude.
more now that you've gone
Oh my
there.
God, yeah, that's the thing about traveling. You're able to understand people. Like, it makes sense, like, why you are the way you are. Like, I've kind of got you figured out, not entirely, but like enough to make sense of our interactions. Fucking Portland, bro. Portland. There's a sign that says "Keep Portland Weird." I was like, "Why is this place so weird? Why is this place so weird?"
I
Like,
know they're weird.
and like, whenever like I go to a new city, like I post it like on Facebook. Oh, Neil Mbateng is traveling to this city.
Right.
And like, Portland got the least amount of likes. And I was like, before I even got there, I'm like, yo. And I just remember like being there, and it's just like the vibe. I'm just like, what the fuck, dude?
I know I'm trying to think real hard. I can't recall though. I know I've had a few experiences where I'm just like really weird, wacky shit's happening to me and I can't explain it, but I can't recall what those are. I really want to share some of those memories, but I know I've had the experience where like every 15 minutes something else happens. I'm just like, what is going on right now?
We went to a bar, and I felt like Blade Trinity was filmed there. Like everyone there is a vampire. I'm convinced. You have to be a vampire to live in this. Like, they get no sun. Like, you guys are all vitamin D deficient. Like,
Yeah.
I feel terrible for you. Portland, Oregon. Hell no. Hell no. It's Wicker Park times 10,000.
Oh my God.
Bro, like, Portland?
Wicker Park
What?
times 10,000.
Bro, the entire weekend I was there, I saw, like, outside of my friends, we saw no black folk. I'm like, yo, I need to see some black folk. Oh, yeah, there's a Nike store, like, here, go. I'm like, okay. I go there, and I see all the black folk. I'm like, oh, my God.
Did you talk to them like, guys, tell me, what is going on here? Why do you live
and I look
here?
at I'm like, what's up? Like, hey, what's up, bro? I'm like, you too, huh? He's like, yeah. You know what I'm saying? It's like you've been captured by some sort of spirit. Like, it was like a scene from Get Out. Like, dude, it was just so creepy. You would not think it was like an actual city. You would think it was some sort of fictitious
goodness.
location.
That's something
You were just there for a
like,
weekend?
I guarantee you, if Victor and I went there, we'd be like, "What are you talking about?" It's
Yeah.
like totally normal, but it's like it's
Fucking
all
A.
white people.
Fucking A, Portland.
Like, suburban. Well, I mean, that is so crazy.
Oh my
goodness.
I've traveled to over 20 countries. I have never felt like I was in more of a foreign place than Portland, Oregon. Hong Kong didn't make me feel that way. Bali, Indonesia didn't make me feel that way. No. Ireland didn't make me feel that way. You know what? Maybe Portland, Oregon. I was home. I didn't have to bring a passport. I was in the United States, I think.
I guess we're not getting any calls from the Portland Board of
That is
Tourism anytime
so
soon.
funny, dude.
Please, you guys want some calls, dude?
Holy cow.
Y'all need to diversify that freaking city, man. Wow.
I hear there's a lot of piercings though.
Like in this, like
Everyone has piercings on their.
no, I didn't notice that.
That was a stereotype. That I
No,
wasn't
it
sure
was
that
it was very.
actual thing. Or tattoos or things like that.
Portland.
The facial expressions you're making right now.
Oh my god, it was hell. Oh
Wow.
my
Wow,
god.
that's America.
That's a pretty good note to end on, I think.
Is Portland red or blue?
Deep blue.
It's got
Really?
blue.
Excuse me,
It's
Oregon.
gotta be
No,
blue.
no, but Oregon outside of Portland is red, but the city of Portland is blue.
Yes, but most of Portland is pretty blue.
Okay.
Or I mean, most of Oregon is pretty blue.
Okay.
Yeah. It's a pretty progressive.
Damn.
area.
Is there anything else you want to add before we conclude?
Can I do my shout outs, Rick?
No,
No.
you can't. You can do it. We're not going to do shout outs. We're going to
Fine.
edit it out.
Shout out to Nikita, Dom, hope all is well in Cameroon, Dono, Sean, Mumiklo, Nick Marquez, Stream of Thought podcast. Thank you guys for having me.
20 minutes later.
This
Yeah,
was the last but certainly not least, Stream of Thought. You guys are doing your thing. Keep it up.